Hi Aquarians, this is our reading for June 2020, maybe specifically mid-June 2020 for many of you. The Chariot card is where we start after shuffling and meditating with the deck for Aquarians. This reading is for any and all Aquarians, so anyone who identifies with the sign of Aquarius in June 2020. So you may be an Aqua Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars. You might just honestly have resonated with the title or felt drawn to the reading or Aquarian energy for any reason. If you're cross-watching, we do have the King of Swords here. King of Air, and Aquarius is fixed air, of course. We've got the Magician here. Could be Aries energy, and the Three of Fire comes through for you all as well. I believe that was in my last reading, which I think was for Capricorns. And I actually don't think I want to take these for us Aquarians. I want to keep in mind that the King of Swords, the Magician, and the Three of Fire came through. A lot of you at this time, Aquarians, I feel are feeling very comfortable in your own skin, actually, with that King of Air coming through. A lot of you making head over heart decisions, planning, strategizing. And we see why. The Ace of Fire also comes through. You are proceeding confidently in a chosen direction because you're inspired. Many of you are seeing the birth of something spiritual and or creative at this time. You have had a burst of inspiration that is fueling you, that is very much defining you. Wheel of Fortune confirming that for us. You feel that this is your fate, your destiny, and you are eager to meet it, right? Dare I say, many of you feel this is purpose for you. Something has been rushed along. Something has been pushed along. And it seems, Aquarians, that it is important to you to honor and remain at pace with, if you will, divine timing. The timing that is out of your control, the timing that you believe is more the clock of a power greater than yourself or any one individual, that many feel is really a guiding force. Maybe that is because this burst of inspiration that I described as fueling you and defining you seems to be divinely inspired as well. This is the second time the Four of Cups has tried to come through for you here. So we will definitely take that. We'll definitely get a clarifier on that as well. Full card on the bottom of the deck here. Showing us that this is all about a brand new beginning for you. Not surprising, since the Ace is just a seed. It's a 1. The World card is below that Fool card, Aquarians. A new beginning that allows you to nurture an opportunity, again, inspired, offered by something otherworldly, something divine, something that may very well seem like, or be synonymous with at least, a guiding force greater than, again, just yourself. Assistance that you needed, that you appreciate, that you acknowledge, you honor and appreciate, and trust. It looks like taking this leap of faith here into this new beginning. That yes, it allows you to nurture that opportunity, which it seems has rushed in, right? It's very much rushed in. But you know that it is your job to take advantage of it, even though you couldn't have planned on it coming. You didn't know when it would get here. You feel that it's your job to grab a hold of that opportunity, and that seems to be what is most important to you. Taking advantage of your moment, of your opportunity when you have your moment to. And this new beginning also seems to be leading directly to relief of deep fears, worries, doubt, anxiety, maybe sleepless nights. This fearless pursuit, which looks like for many of you may be the leap of faith into the new beginning. This fearless pursuit of what you want, of what the vision you're inspired to see, the fire, the spark that's been lit in your heart, that you're passionate about, that gives you a chance to be creative, or again, for a lot of you, brings your spiritual life into focus. Maybe it just makes it come more alive, right? That pursuit, that chase, seems to lead directly to that relief of anxiety, worries, fears, doubts, insecurities. And other things in your life, other life that you're connected to even, has been neglected, okay? The other things you're connected to, the other life you're connected to, other things have been neglected, and there comes a relief of that as well, for you or someone very close to you. There comes a relief of that as well as you pursue this. Really throughout June, or again, maybe it's specifically more so mid-June, second half of June, but there comes this relief of that for someone involved here. I think we see a release of the need to control the timing of matters, and a feeling, a knowing, a higher knowing, and an understanding of one's true, yes, power, yes, control, over your physical environment, over your 3D world, over your physical realm, your physical matters, your day to day, your physical body, your health, your relationships, your habits, your routines, your schedule, your to-do list, your bank account. And you know, that feeling is all encompassing and yes, very empowering, for a reason. It is correct. It correctly suggests to you that you are in a state of and general life experience, existence of co-creating, and this fate and divine timing that you are surrendering to. And I think if you find some liberation in surrendering to this greater force that seems to be aiding you in your chase and pursuit. I think it very much is at this time. I think you see that correctly. It is at this time, and yet this wheel continues to spin. And so there is advice here to continue to keep your energies balanced, keep your bank account balanced, maybe specifically. Things are turning in your favor, and you are correctly assessing that you co-create, how you co-create, and it seems silly to think that you would need reminded that, of course, you know, this divine timing and fate and force that you're working with, represented by this wheel here, is ever changing. But yes, the advice comes through to maintain your energetic balance. It may not mean, you know, finances specifically for all Aquarians. And we may see why, with the future card position then being the Four of Cups. There may be some sort of loss, and it looks like it would be energetic, physical in nature. So is it your energy, your time? Is it a relationship? Yes, I think for many of you, it may be some sort of relationship that isn't paid enough attention to, and that's the energetic balance that you are encouraged to find and seek, perhaps. Just to be aware here that you are still juggling choices, choosing between spending your time on this and that, and there are those who are more aware of that factor and your connection with them than you seem to be at the moment. Yeah, for many of you. Maybe a couple of relationships. It's very interesting here in the background of the Two of Pentacles, these two cups. I'm just noticing in the background of the Two of Pentacles. Because yeah, those if they're relationships, and I think that's what it is. Those relationships are of course emotional attachments for most of us, I want to say, and are also part of your physical reality day in and day out. At least, you know, month in and month out, right? And I think it's very much like this, you know. In the Fool card, we see maybe a perfect example of what we're talking about. This is on the bottom of the deck, so that makes sense. When Alice jumps into this new world, takes this leap of faith, and here is this feline companion at her side watching her go. She can't and doesn't grab a hold of the cat and insist on its fall with her. And I think specifically in what we're talking about in your reading, it wouldn't make sense because this is a new beginning that's specifically for her. And even if not, even if it could include the feline companion here, isn't that this other individual's choice of whether or not to take a leap of faith here? And I think that there may be someone or someones who sort of feel left behind as you forge ahead, Aquarians. And there is this encouragement to keep them in mind. But I, of course, can't help but notice that it also comes attached to this understanding here that it's a natural side effect, part of someone taking a leap of faith in this manner, jumping into the unknown, following a burst of inspiration, a spiritual or intuitive knowing, synchronistic timings. But in some version of this event, and in all versions of this story, there is not even always, a feline companion there, if ever, right? But in some version of this event that we see here on the Fool card, this young lady may have said to her feline companion, if they had spent any time together at all, "See you later," at least. I don't know what's on the other side. Come with if you want, at least. If that makes any sense, if that's possible. Now, if this is her, starting some sort of a business venture on her own, or moving somewhere away from the feline companion's family and job and all that, then that just wouldn't make sense even. But that's why we started with saying at least a see you later, catch you on the flip side, send you a postcard from the other side if I can, maybe, depending on how much time, how close this individual it is. But it looks like there's at least one relationship, one connection, Aquarians, that we're on a path to at the end of June or the little thereafter, losing in some sense. And we may come to feel that it's a loss, even if we don't realize it's happening or that it's that upsetting to us as it begins to happen or as it's happening. And if it's not a relationship, a connection with a person, it's something, some other endeavor, project. It may be a feline companion. Something that we're emotional about. Someone or something that we're emotional about that we don't realize. We're not realizing that we don't have the attention for, enough attention for. It really feels like someone who feels a little bit left behind. But that could be a part of you, could be a part of yourself, any sort of companion, connection, or even like a project or a work that came to be like a companion or that represented a part of yourself. And again, there's just there seems to be the suggestion that there is a way to juggle these things, that there is a way to keep an eye on, or at least acknowledge and make a conscious decision about those things that may be, those people who may be sort of slipping through the crack at this time. With this Two of Pentacles here as your advice card, it's like there is a way. To at least acknowledge it. And I think it's suggesting just that you notice how distracted that you are. And what it leads to with the Four of Cups here is potentially more loss. If you're upset about anything that was emotional to you, slipping through the cracks, getting lost in the shuffle, relationships disconnecting, meaningful trinkets being lost in a move, or connections with animal companions getting maybe confused because of a failing on your part, something like that. Just a distraction, just, a general not noticing how distracted you are. When you're busy mourning in the future that loss or those losses, there's the potential for at that time to be missing another opportunity, another emotional connection could be then presenting itself, and so we begin to see very quickly how that type of domino effect and that type of ripple effect takes place and seems actually very natural and like no one's fault. Of course, one instance that leads you to hang your head can lead right into the next if you indeed keep your head hung, right? And so what we're trying to do here, it looks like, is avoid the beginning of that ripple. And this is so not to detract from your excitement, this new beginning, this inspiration, the birth of this. It is truly spiritual, whether you've realized it's that way for you or not. It seems to me here, but the birth of this creative, spiritual, divine inspiration, and chasing down what feels like your purpose and your fate. The excitement is real. The energy is real. The hand of the divine in the situation is very real. The new beginning feels quite promising, even though I don't see what's on the other side of it here. And I will draw that clarifier that I told you I would. But that very excitement, as real and powerful and divine as it is and will remain, regardless of what it may lead to you losing or parting ways with, it may be necessarily, right? It can be exactly why we get this false sense that everything is going to just keep going right, that that nothing can bring us down, right? So we see the Eight of Cups in the Shadowscapes tarot deck is going to be the clarifier on that Four of Cups. Again, this might be a necessary parting of ways and a preparation for that as well. And still the same reminder to be aware of your distraction and aware of, maybe we mean specifically, hanging your head too long about necessary losses, necessary partings of ways, or unavoidable, regrettable, but unavoidable partings of ways. It's either that it can't be helped, or if it could, you might miss your chance. And if, if that, if there's a missed opportunity, right, to to successfully juggle all the above. It's about not faulting yourself then for that. The advice, I think, is really just coming around again to say it's more of a challenge to balance everything that you have that's worth paying attention to and that needs your attention at this time than you realize, than you know. I think if it feels very easy, it is because the divine's in your corner. It is because this is your new beginning. You've got that fresh, innocent, but maybe a little naive attitude that goes with jumping into a new beginning. And while you're someone who, you're starting something brand new, a new adventure, that does not mean that you are all the way back to a complete child again. In a certain sense of your life, in a certain realm, maybe, but you've had relationships before, right? Maybe you haven't had a romantic relationship before, but you've had a relationship before, right? Or whatever the case may be. I mean, I would assume that you've had a romantic relationship before, but I'm just saying, for example, maybe you haven't had one exactly like the ones you're juggling now, but you've had them, or responsibilities or projects exactly like the ones you've had now, but you have. And so these are the things that might lead you to not see this coming. That rush of excitement and inspiration and passion, and it's beautiful, and this relief of your own personal worries and fears and doubts may disconnect you from the fact that others are still feeling a little neglected. And I am not suggesting that you fold on working on your dreams, your inspirations, Aquarians. I think the reading itself is saying that there's just attention that needs paid where there is distraction that's unrealized. And again, if, for example, this young woman was close with this feline companion, she could simply say, I'll see you on the other side if you decide to come, or, hey, I have to go on this journey now, I'll see you later, I'm sure. So just an acknowledgement, again, attention paid where there is distraction that's unrealized. And then by the end of the month or moving into the next, at the very least, even if all of that is simply unavoidable, and I don't think that's the case for many, but even if it's simply unavoidable and you just must part ways with something that's not meant for you anymore, hanging your head and missing the new opportunities that are there to fill the space that is left from what you have energetically parted ways with is certainly not what is meant for you, right? And this could be the message. This is a whirlwind of energy. This inspiration comes rushing in. You chase down this inspiration. You chase down what feels fated to be yours, and then you're left wondering, are the losses that I was too distracted from also things that were fated to be? Were they fated to be losses as part of all of this? And for some of you, yes. For others, no. We could dig deeper into that in a personal reading. That's what that would require, Aquarians. But I think for many of you, your higher mind knows that the situation can be managed, but you simply must acknowledge that the juggling act with everything that is meaningful to you and requires attention at this time is more difficult than you realize. If it doesn't seem tricky at all, then it's likely that's because you're missing something that's about to sort of slip through the cracks. And yes, it may very well be meant to be. So, Aquarians, I think we've hit it home multiple times. I want to say that the 5 of Fire is here as well on the bottom of the clarifier deck after we drew that 8 of Cups. So this could be because of some competition. It could also be because of petty ego drama. And those are the Aquarians that I feel the situation leans more than to the side of it's not necessarily a loss that has to happen or that is unavoidable or inevitable, but it just may happen because of, that war, that type of warring egos energy. So again, we really will leave it there for June 2020, mid-June 2020 Aquarians. I have so much love for you, and I truly hope that at least some of the needed insight was able to reach you here. If you are interested in a personal reading, just scroll down to the description box down below where you can find more information, and I will be back with another reading for us just as soon as I can. Until then,